these baboons, Simopithecus baboons, had gone and mated with the H. erectus females. And the Oldaway fossils had such massive jaws and molars that Dr. Leakey named them Nutcracker Man. And he called them P. Boise. And I don't know if I have one of him. No, I don't have one of him. But at any rate, he named him Nutcracker Man. Now, if you remember back with the fish waited 10 million years to release the spirits of their conodonts before they went up and started breeding those Euripidids. Now, P. robustus tribes planned for 200,000 years to reclaim dominance over Rift Valley populations. But baboons and P. robustus tribes captured Rift Valley H. erectus and H. habilis people, and H. erectus didn't wait. He planned and successfully carried out a revolution or a retaliation against these baboons. Now, Kubifora is a promontory or high point of land and rock that juts out into Lake Turkana in northern Kenya. Kubifora, let's see, I had, where did I move that now? Excuse me for a minute. This is Kubifora, right here, up here. Now, Kubifora is about 400 miles from Olduvai Gorge. Here's Olduvai Gorge, here's Kubifora. Okay, the anthropologists working at Kubifora located an area about 50 feet across where stone tools were manufactured. And the area contained many stone chips, splinters, and planks, as well as some 400 to 500 stone choppers and scrapers that date from 1.8 million years ago. Now, Olorgesailie lies in between those two, right between the two. And archaeologists located a site at Olorgesailie in the Kenya Rift Valley near Nairobi that contains more than 10,000 carefully manufactured hand axes. The hand axes were not made of stones from the general area. No human remains were found on the site, but it did contain the remains of 63 Simopithecus baboons, and those of early categories of elephants, hippopotamus, giraffes, and pigs. Reports state that all limb bones had clearly been split open to extract the marrow. None of the bones were burnt, and there were no traces of hearts, indicating that fire was not in use. Now, some anthropologists theorized that H. erectus and Simopithecus baboons fought a battle in the camp, which measured about 40 to 65 feet. Now, this is that area. They have it, this is where they think they fought. They have it, what would you call it, a walkway around there. You can look down into it, and there's some people walking. And they found those remains, and they state that the baboons had large canine teeth and were about the size of female gorillas, which indicates that they were not easy prey. Cut marks on their bones show that they were consistently butchered in what is only described as not the most efficient way. Now, the method of butchery prompted some anthropologists to think it was an important part, it was perhaps an important part of some sort of ritual. Well, now what happened was H. erectus killed the baboons, and the climate in South Africa became much drier around 1.8 million years ago. The males from Kubifora took over the baboons, the Simopithecus baboon territory, and they became strict meat eaters. Now, this is a report. It says, the increase in meat eating had its hazards, however. The evidence for this comes from an interesting fossil specimen found a couple of years ago at Kubifora. Several hundred pieces of a 1.5 million year old H. erectus was discovered. Part of the skull, the lower jaw, some vertebrae. On the leg bones were intriguing signs of some kind of disease. The shafts appeared patchily encrusted with new bone. The mystery was solved when a pathologist saw the diseased bone under a microscope and immediately recognized the condition as hypervitaminosis A, that is, a poisonous overdose of vitamin A. The disease is rare, but one of the most common ways of contracting it is to eat large quantities of raw liver, which is especially rich in this vitamin. Now, H. erectus males from Kubifora took possession of the female primates. Modern science states that chimpanzees gave birth to the gorilla and a new category of chimpanzee around 1.6 million years ago. Now, H. erectus mated with chimpanzees, and the gorilla and another type of chimpanzee were born. Now, gorillas currently live in West Africa, equatorial forest, and in the East Belgian Congo at elevations of 6,500 to 12,000 feet. They've been known only, science has only known about gorillas since 1847, and they really don't know exactly how to classify them. Some classify the gorilla as a subspecies of a chimpanzee, while other people place them in a separate category. Most of us know what a gorilla looks like. I haven't met any personally, well, maybe I have. Males are up to 2 times as large as females, and they weigh 297 to 605 pounds. And females weigh 154 to 308 pounds. The gorilla has a strangely human look in his eyes. That's what most people say. And they're daytime creatures. They're almost entirely vegetarian. Their movements are determined by the availability of food. And they live in a dominance hierarchy. They're non-aggressive, and they avoid human contact and all forms of combat, using hoots and elaborate chest beating to drive away people. Now, gorillas in captivity have demonstrated problem-solving ability, memory, and anticipation of routine events. Now, H. habilis passed to extinction around 1.6 million years ago, and H. erectus rose to dominance around 1.8 million years ago. Let's go back over that. H. erectus rose to dominance 1.8 million years ago. H. habilis passed to extinction 1.6 million years ago. Gorillas re-evolved 1.6 million years ago. And the Himalaya mountains again began rising around 1.5 million years ago. And when they started rising, there was a whole lot of heavy volcanic activity in Australia, and along what is now the Pacific coast of North America. And gaseous spirits began uplifting the Java, Borneo, Sumatra plateau, because they knew that these spirits knew H. erectus was becoming more violent, so they had a place to incarnate. Okay, the region was warm and carbon-laden when the second group of orangutans evolved, who are like those of the current day. Now remember, they first appeared back at around 8 million years ago, at the time when Ramapithecus was fighting against the nighttime people. And then they disappeared. And they reappeared around 1 million years ago. In the Malaysian language, they call the orangutan, the word orangutan means man of the woods. Now, orangutans have a reddish-brown color, a high forehead, bulging snout, cheek pads, a projecting mouth, and thin lips. They have small ears that are devoid of hair. They have short, relatively weak legs and long, powerful arms. The orangutan has an average height of 4 to 5 feet, and they usually have a lifespan of about 58 to 59 years. Now, orangutans spread into Java, Laos, North Vietnam, and South China, but they currently live only in Sumatra and Borneo. And they usually live in very small groups or alone. They're quieter, they're more introverted than other primates, but they are intelligent. They use vegetation to build large platform nests in trees for sleeping at night. They hold leafy branches over their heads to shelter from rain and sun. They use sticks to dig, fight, eat, scratch, and pry. An orangutan in captivity seen tame chickens wandering near his cage, used part of his food and made a little corn seed path, and he captured a chicken as it came near. And another orangutan watched workers using a shifting spanner. I don't know what that is. The workers left the spanner near the travel cage, and the orangutan seized it and began to unscrew the bars of his cage. So at any rate, uplifting land close to Bering Strait